It's the biggest mismatch in world history. It's the Motion Boom against the Harman Kardon Go Plus Play. You knew it had to happen. Doesn't matter what I do. I can walk down the street and I guarantee you someone will say, can you compare it to the Motion Boom? And I'm doing it. Soundcore Motion Boom. What is it? It's the pound for pound world champion. It's unbeaten to date, and this is a big ask, isn't it? This is rated 100 watts on AC power. It's a Harman Kardon Go Plus Play, 30 watts. This is a teeny weeny 30 watts. It's got no chance. Look at the difference in size. That's 1.5 kilos. That is just under 3.5 kilos. What am I doing? What am I doing? This is the biggest mismatch since the tortoise beat the hare. No, the tortoise beat the hare. That's not a mismatch. That's the underdog beating the favourite. Let's do it. Let's go straight into the tests. 50% volume comparison. The teeny weeny, but Alan Ross is pound for pound world champion. Soundcore Motion Boom against 5 years of honing it to perfection. The Harman Kardon Go Plus Play. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Who'd have thought it? You thought I was mad. You thought I didn't know what I was doing. But come on. The Motion Boom at 30 watts is not outclassed by the Harman Kardon Go Plus Play. Rated 100 watts on mains power. Yes, all right, it does sound smaller. That is bigger, more open, more fizzy. But when you loudness match them, amazingly, the bass is about the same. And this is unbelievable. When I measure 40 hertz, 5 decibels, 5 dB advantage to the Motion Boom. Are we defying the laws? What is going on? How can this speaker, it's not beating it, it's not even matching it, but it's close and has a deeper bass extension than the Harman Kardon Go Plus Play. I'm not saying, well, I'd rather have this one than that big bugger. That is bigger, it is meatier, it's more fizzy, and it's more open. But the difference is not huge. And the bottom line is, I got more bass extension, loudness matched on the Motion Boom. So remember, there's not much, well, I'll say remember, you may never have watched my original Harman Kardon Go Plus Play against the Onyx Studio 7, where I did show you the frequency response. There's no bass adjustment for low volumes. There is bass adjustment on the Motion Boom, and maybe that's why it can kind of match the Go Plus Play for deep bass extension, because I didn't bother with loudness tuning on the Go Plus Play. So what happens? Real world volumes, analog volumes, around 75% volume.
It's your touch alone that I crave, and you hide it, 'cause you're still the one I'll give myself to if you want it, 'cause it's electric the way you touch me, and the vibration set me free. It passes through me the way you touch me. It's the way true love should be. Finally your touch touches my skin. Finally I feel you give in. Finally you touch me again. You touch me, you touch me, you touch me again. If you really wanna go, knock yourself out. Go ahead, he's all yours now. You saw the way he treated me. He gave me up so easily. Knock yourself out. Go ahead, he's all yours now. Yeah, you deserve better than him. But if you're afraid with settling, knock yourself out. If you really wanna go get him, I really hope he learned his lesson. But if he goes and hurts you, you have a friend. Say I didn't want you, go. Knock yourself out. Go ahead, he's all yours now. You saw the way he treated me. He gave me up so easily. Knock yourself out. Go ahead, he's all yours now. Yeah, you deserve better than him. But if you're afraid with settling, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. Don't come crying to me if it hurts you. Knock yourself out.
A bit nearer to reality. The clear winner now, of course, is the Go Plus Play, as you would hope. I mean, it's not just bigger, it's not just rated more in terms of watts, it's more expensive. 80 quid, 245 quid. It takes 3 Motion Booms in terms of your wallet to match one Go Plus Play. But you can imagine if you actually had 3, well, you wouldn't have 3 Motion Booms, to be honest, because because it only does stereo pairing. So if you've got 3 motion booms, you're giving one to your mum, because one of them is absolutely pointless. The motion boom sounds fine. It's just a smaller sound, a narrower sound, a thinner sound. This sounds meaty. This has got a big bass. It's got a bigger bass in all areas in terms of deep, mid and upper bass, as you would hope, given the price, given the size, but not outclassed. But yeah, you do get a bit more for him. I mean, hi-fi is like that, isn't it? You've got to pay a lot more for smaller and smaller increments. So, only going to be one winner, isn't it, when we go to 100%. Remember, you can plug the mains lead and get a couple of decibels more out of the Go Plus plate. But on battery, 100% volume versus 100% volume. Oh, what's the point? Mate, we already know the Go Plus plate's going to be miles ahead.
Late night feeling, looking for a reason, pull myself away from you. But I'm weak from a little bit of liquor, so I go and put another password through. Climbing up the ceiling, setting up the scene, you're alone and it's 9:30. And I know he was ready for the breakup, cause he was online for the whole damn night. But now it's back, cause it's not for the first time, or the last time, baby, what a pastime. Oh, if I could change. But why'd you go and complicate a thing that wasn't complicated? And yeah, I get a little hung up sometimes, thinking what you're doing to him more damn night. Oh, but I know that it's nothing to you. Oh, I need another hold, I need to just let it go. Stop, drop, calling on your telephone. Oh, 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 I think I need to let it go. Oh, 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 no, I know I should let this thing go, but I gotta hold down night. And I'm high on the rush that it gives me, so I go and check them when you're last online. And I know I'm not good with the compliments, it's constant that I'm not confident. Oh, I wish I did change. But why'd you go and complicate a thing that wasn't complicated? And yeah, I get a little hung up sometimes, thinking what you're doing to him more damn night. Oh, but I know that it's nothing to you. Oh, I need another hold, I need to just let it go. Stop, drop, calling on your telephone. Oh, oh, oh. I think I need to let it go. I won't search your net, stare at the photos on your wall. Won't send you messages or anything I might have done before. And by the way, I only got to say I never liked your mom. All the way you put your tongue against your face when you were wrong. Stop.
Not by a little bit, but by a big bit. The motion boom is the loudest, 5 decibels louder, because it doesn't have the bass to push that you've got on the Go Play. It's just pushing the mids and the highs, and it can go a hell of a lot louder. 5 decibels stronger in its peak, and the reason that's happening is because Go Play is 4 decibels stronger in mid bass, 6 decibels stronger in the deep bass, although overall only 2 decibels stronger because we are stronger in the upper bass on the motion boom. If I A-B the graphs, you can see the big difference in the bass on the Go Play that's completely missing there in terms of the mid and deep bass on the motion boom, which still has decent bass. It just shows you how bass heavy the Go Play is. But it's the mids and the highs that are screaming on the motion boom. But in terms of loudness that will travel, yes, it does go to the motion boom. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the loudest of them all? Bloody hell, it's the motion boom. How on earth is it going louder? Well, because it's pushing the mids and the highs and not the bass. We've got way more bass, of course, on the Go Plus Play. However, for all that, it against the motion boom, the Go Plus Play kind of sounding a bit muddy. But yes, it's got more bass, more deep bass, more bass in all areas. But maybe 30 watts versus 100 watts. Well, not 100 watts, because we're still on battery. Obviously, it will go a couple of decibels louder if you stick the mains lead in. But come on, 80 quid, 240 odd quid. Who would have thought it? You know, it's not game over, is it, for the motion boom? It does go louder, it does sound clearer. But if it's all about bass, there's only one winner. Thank goodness for that. I mean, you're not going to pay 240 quid and you don't want to lose in all areas because you've got to justify it to your bank manager and say, come on, why have you spent 240 quid and that sounds louder? You've got to explain to him, your bank manager, say, it's not all about overall loudness, it's also about the bass, because it takes more of the amp to drive the bass. So there you have it. Yes, you've got more bass on the Go Plus Play. Yes, it does sound fizzy at most volumes, except for when you go to maximum volume. A lot clearer, isn't it, on the Soundcore Motion Boom. Other specs you may well be interested in. We've already talked about price. It's only a 37 watt-hour battery on the Motion Boom, but the much bigger and meatier Go Plus Play has a 22.2 watt-hour battery. What is that all about? Only Harman Kardon can explain that to you. Go on their support. Ask them, why can I pay £80 for the Motion Boom and get a battery that's almost twice as much in capacity, but you can only put a 22.2 watt-hour battery in your Go Plus? They don't like batteries, do they, Harman Kardon? 11 watt-hour battery in the Onyx Studio. What's that all about, Alfie? I've got no idea. Both SBC codec, of course. Got Bluetooth 5 on the Motion Boom. Bluetooth 4.1 on the expensive Harman Kardon Go Plus Play. Tidy mode only on the Go Plus Play, but maybe a workaround as on the Onyx Studio, I don't know, for a pair of them in stereo. But off the bat, we've got stereo. If you've got two of them on the Motion Boom, and they sound great, it really opens up the Motion Boom. We do have auxiliary input on the old-fashioned Go Plus Play. We don't have an auxiliary input on the Motion Boom. You can use both of them as a power bank, and you can use them both as a phone speaker, but you got dual mics. Every time I sit down and make a phone call using my a Bluetooth speaker, I think, if only I had dual mics. Joking aside, of course, in terms of conferencing, that may be quite a nice feature. You can drop that in the swimming pool. IPX7. And it's rated 1 meter of water, 30 minutes. Not rated IPX7 on the Harman Kardon Go Plus Play. In terms of latency, 80 milliseconds was my testing. 170 milliseconds is terrible on the Motion Boom. But bear in mind, scenario-specific Bluetooth latency. In terms of the drivers, 2 woofers, 2 tweeters, passive radiator front and back, 2 woofers, 2 passive radiators. Everybody says, if only it had tweeters. Remember, it's at 80 quid. They could put tweeters on and it could sound worse. Got to have a decent crossover. Maybe even, actually not tweeters, but small 4-range drivers may be better. But come on, it sounds like it does sound. Let's not ask for more at 80 quid. That's amazing deep bass at 80 quid. It is the Alan Ross pound for pound world champion. And this is it does sound better. It is nice to listen. It is meatier, but in terms of value, there's only one winner on this table. It's the Soundcore Motion Boom. It can hold its own, almost hold its own, but it's never going to be a bigger sounding speaker than the Go Plus Play. The Go Plus Play does sound better, but hey ho, you heard what happens when you go to maximum volume. You're going to have to put the mains lead in, get a couple of extra decibels out of it if maximum volume listening is what you do, for it to be a match, because although there isn't the same bass at maximum volume, it sounds way, way clearer, makes this sound muddy. So that's a reasonable listen at maximum volume in terms of AB in this comparison. So what's the takeaway, Alan, in this video? I'm glad you asked me. The takeaway is, I really, really, really like this speaker. This is much meatier sounding, has lots of fizz. It's a really nice sound. But this is really balanced. You can play that, get deep bass and not really annoy your neighbours, and then annoy your neighbours. And it's still cheaper than the Harman Kardon Go Plus Play. And that's really the point, isn't it? Gonna have to probably do a video, 2 of these at 160 quid against one of those at 240 or 220 quid, approximately. Go Plus Play does sound better overall than a single Motion Boom. I haven't tried it against a pair of Motion Booms. My feeling is a pair of Motion Booms is going to outdo the Go Plus Play. But that's to come in another video. Make sure you watch lots of ads. Watch the video over and over. Ad revenue is fantastic because it's costing me more in speakers than I'm getting back at the moment. Maybe that'll change one day. Maybe I'll just give up one day. I've given it away. Look, it was a fool's moustache. I don't know how many of you were actually thinking, a geezer actually looks like that, but no. It was not a full... It's real hair. It's a false moustache. I thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you in another video.
I ain't about that life. I ain't about that life. Ain't no project wife, got my logic right, cause I'm not your type. I ain't about that life. I ain't about that life. Sorry, ma, I ain't get it right. I'ma just live my life. I ain't about that. I ain't about that life.